Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
I'm Jerry Byrne, Irish Radio it is. I've been speaking to many of the great and the good and the talented in Irish entertainment and community affairs and numerous other things since the advent of the dreaded COVID-19. Now, I'm delighted to say hello to a man who's had a long, successful career as a comedian, also as a singer, as an MC, and a sort of an all-around good guy. In Kesh, County Fermanagh, I'm delighted to say hello to the one and only Gary Wilson. Gary, how are you?
Hey, Jerry, after that introduction, I thought you'd got the wrong man.
No, we definitely got the right man, Gary. Listen, you've had a heck of a career so far. You really have.
Well, I'm only a young fella, really, Jerry. The photographs don't do me justice, but yes, I've been very fortunate. Well, it's only fairly recently that I went sort of semi-professional. I've been pottering around on the comedy and entertainment circuit here in Ireland for over 30 years. And this last few years decided to put a bit more effort into it, and that has proved fairly successful. So yes, very thankful, very grateful, and enjoying life.
Indeed, that is superb. I mean, you've managed to be very, very successful, and indeed you're an award winner as well.
Well, yeah, I've been very fortunate to be recognised, I suppose. I have a couple of comedy awards that were presented over the years, some of them through our great country music people, and I would do an awful lot of work, of course, with the country music guys over here. I would compare a lot of shows for them, appear on a lot of shows and events, both indoors and outdoors, and of course across in England as well, in Blackpool and Scotland, and further afield in Spain, and on the cruise ships. But yes, it's nice to get recognised, and especially even nicer whenever it's your audience who vote for you to receive these awards. So yes, I've been acknowledged as sort of, I think last year the last one was the best comedy act at the Northern Ireland Country Music Awards, and that was quite a big thrill, and got a nice piece of our very own Fermanagh China as the award for that.
That was excellent, absolutely superb stuff. Now, other things you do, you actually do, you organise, and here again it's on hold at the moment, Gary's Country and Comedy Getaway.
Yes, that was my first ever dipping my toe after thinking for a long time into the entertainment holiday scene. I've been a part of many other country music holidays over the years, as I say, right across the country. And I've been toying with the idea of doing one myself, and it took about 2 years to plan it. And of course, a certain little thing called COVID arrived, and we should have just been having it there the second week in October. But sadly, it's all on hold. But we have rearranged it for next year again, and God willing, we will be there with a great lineup of fantastic Irish country musicians and singers, and all our guests a lot of them have booked again to come back, and hopefully we'll be able to get the word out to a lot more people about it whenever it comes near the time in October next year again.
Indeed. And I mean, it's a huge, like the sort of the calibre of artists we're talking about is the likes of Declan Nerney and John Rafferty and Curtis McGee and Patricia Maguire and all those people, really talented people, country harmony as well, and Cowboy Larry, Jerry Kane, Barry Doyle, all of those people. I mean, it's a cracking lineup.
Yep. No, I was very privileged and delighted that all of them agreed that they were going to appear. Those are all the folks that I'm delighted to call friends, and I've worked with them all across the country, and whenever they heard that I was doing a holiday of my own, they said, yep, we'll appear for you and put on the show. And as I say, it all came together, but now all on hold again. But no, there's always next year. We have to be positive and look to the future, and I think we will be able to run it next year, and we'll have one hell of a party.
Yes, it'll have to make up for the time, but it truly is amazing, for the likes of yourself, and I mean all the guys involved and gals involved in entertainment in any sort of shape or form, be it even actors on the stage to the likes of yourself, comedians, to singers, musicians, that every single thing is gone.
Yeah, it's a very sad situation. It's very sad for us as the performers, but it's also very sad for our audiences. Many of those folk and your listeners will know that that's their lifeline to get out and meet their friends and see a little bit of live music, a little bit of live entertainment, or a live theatre show or a play. And that has all been pulled from under us. Normally from September to March or April time, I would have at least 4 gigs a week, and that could range from something in your local community centre to your parish hall to a hotel to a theatre or a wedding. And there's absolutely nothing in the diary from now until that time next year, and no light at the end of the tunnel at all.
Indeed.
Anyone that's not in Northern Ireland maybe doesn't know, but just last weekend we had a complete ban on wedding receptions, and I was being very fortunate and able to fill a few gaps for brides and grooms that had to cancel their ban because live music was banned the week before or 2 weeks before that, but now they're not even allowed to have a reception of any kind. So it's very, very sad times, and sadly it's having a knock-on effect onto everyone, you know, in some way or other have all been affected. But, you know, we have to try and do our best to get us out of the situation we're in, and we have to heed the advice from the experts, and that's what we've been told to do. So everyone in the entertainment industry have been very, very good, no matter how hard it's affecting them. They're taking a hit, but they realise that better times are around the corner, and we have to protect ourselves and protect our faithful supporters and fans as well. So that's what everyone's doing.
Indeed. That you know, that is the thing. And the other positive thing about it is the fact that you know, this type of thing of you know, of lockdown and not having events is quite literally saving lives.
It is. It seems to be. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's stopping the transmission. The less people are having contact with other people and with larger groups. So that's what they tell us. So if that's working, well and good. We'll stick at it, but hopefully not for for too much longer. That we'll get it back under control again, and we can get out to do what we love to do. Because you know, I don't see what I do as a job. It's a little piece of enjoyment for me, and I'm never happier whenever I hear that sound of laughter and see the smile on people's faces. Most of the time, you know, and it just gives you that buzz. And sadly, that buzz isn't there at the minute. And I'm sitting at home every night now, having to talk to the wife for the first time in 28 years. You know, so
I bet you find that she's quite a nice woman.
Oh, she's a lovely woman. She's a lovely woman. But, you know, I was very, very shocked, Jerry, to find out that she hadn't worked in Woolworths since 1985.
Yes.
That's how long it is since we've spoken.
Oh dear! Listen, among some of your characters are the wedding crasher, Miss Peggy O'D.
Oh yes, that's my home help, Peggy. Peggy is a legend, I suppose, or a leg end, maybe more like it. Peggy is a character I created again way back at the start, over 30 years ago, and she's probably the first thing that got me into comedy at our local village summer carnival here, and they used to have a talent competition, and I created this character Peggy just for a bit of fun one night in the local hotel, and she appeared every year then for the next few years, and we used to do a few bits, and she now is very popular at weddings, not at the moment sadly, but would have been, and Peggy bursts in and we'll visit the bride and groom. I've had brides that have booked as a surprise for the groom and haven't even told the groom. Peggy comes in and entertains the guests just usually after they finish their meal, and there's a bit of banter and a bit of crack. And I describe her as Mrs. Brown and Dame Edna in the same frock. So you can imagine that.
Yes, indeed, absolutely excellent. And because now listen, you, Gary, you live in a really scenically beautiful place, Kesh in County Fermanagh.
Yep, very fortunate to live in the beautiful riverside, lakeside village of Kesh. We're right on the edge of North Fermanagh, in County Fermanagh, on the border with Donegal. I can slip down the road and be in Donegal in about 10 minutes. And a bit further down then, again, we're into Sligo, and then on down into Mayo, and very beautiful part of the world to live in. We've got all the lakes, we've got all the rivers here, very popular place for folks to have a holiday home or a caravan, or just pass through to go to Donegal. And our wee village is a nice, small, friendly, welcoming village, and has been welcoming tourists and holidaymakers for years, and a very close-knit community. We have our village summer festival, we have our Christmas activities, and lots of voluntary groups and sporting clubs and everything in that community network as well. Sadly, we've suffered a lot, like a lot of small towns recently, with the recession and things. It just wouldn't be as buzzing as it used to be, but still, it's one of those places that everyone looks out for everyone else, and everyone knows everyone else's business.
Yes, there's that as well. But it's also it really is a huge huge tourist area. I mean, people it's a pass-through route for many going from into Donegal on holidays.
That's right. I mean, the flow through of traffic here from sort of Easter to Halloween, because it's the sort of the main route from Belfast, and a lot of folk will head down into Rosnyle and Bundoran through the village here, and then, as I say, further on down into Sligo. This would sort of be the main thoroughfare. So, the local businesses benefit from that, because a lot of people will stop off, whether it's for a bite to eat or to do a bit of shopping or whatever. And then we get a lot of people coming up from Donegal into the village here as well to shop and things like that. But it's a busy spot, and it's good to see so many people going away and enjoying themselves and passing through. And it's even nicer whenever they decide to stop and spend some time in the area.
Indeed so. And there's also you're sort of in an area, I think, where it kind of starts the tourism, the caravan parks and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we have, I think, maybe 4 or 5 holiday caravan parks with the static caravans and on them, and touring sites as well, where people can come and they've been here for years. I mean, one of the first ones that opened in the whole of Northern Ireland is just down the road from us here, opened by the Armstrong family, and it just literally sits on the shores of Lough Erne. Beautiful setting. There are people who have a holiday caravan there that have been there for 40 years. Them and their children and now their grandchildren are enjoying that experience, and it's very popular because of the access to the lake for fishing, for water sports, for boating, and all that sort of stuff. And there's been a lot of new places have popped up recently along the lake shore where they can go to eat and have a drink and socialise and things like that, and little cafes and restaurants and all of that. So it's a thriving tourism industry here, and we really do rely on tourism. And we're out in the sticks, okay, we're a 2-hour drive from Belfast, but we're happy enough with that. It's a nice rural pace of life, and we enjoy it, and that's what I think attracts a lot of people down here, and they know that they're always welcome and anywhere that they go. So we always like to see them coming down, and that's why they keep coming back.
Indeed, it is. It's absolutely superb. And of course, Lough Erne, it's all part of the waterway system and all of that, which goes right down all of Lough Erne and down into County Cavan as well, and all of that.
Yeah, you have the Erne Shannon waterway, which is a big draw. I mean, the river comes right the way up into the centre of our village, and many's a morning when I'm out for my 5-mile run along the banks of the river, you will see a hire cruiser that has maybe came from Balturbet, and it came right the way up through the the river network up into the loch and enjoying the scenery and just having a nice time. And of course this year the staycations have been very, very popular because people haven't got away, so we've seen an awful lot more traffic even around, and we were blessed with some fantastic weather right away back in the early springtime. It was sort of like an Indian summer back then, never mind anything else. So there was even extra people around, and it just seemed like nearly very continental here. So it did, and we just everything looks so good when we get that sort of weather, which we don't normally get. I'm speaking to you now in an October afternoon, and it's absolutely bucketing with rain here. So it is at the moment. We have a weather warning for floods and everything tonight. But Lough Erne, for a long, long time has attracted people from all over the world, and Fermanagh, because I remember as a young boy working in a local supermarket, and the cruiser hire companies bringing people in from Belgium, from Germany, and from France. And as young people, we had no experience of foreign travel or anything then, and all of these Europeans were coming in. Well, it wasn't Europe then, but continentals, and they just brought a whole new dimension to our little rural village, and it was great. It was great, and there's not as many of them about now with the euro exchange rate and things, but there's still a few. We find that more local people now, Irish and UK people, were using the lake instead, which is nice.
Indeed it is. It's absolutely lovely. Gary, listen, it's been lovely to catch up with you, and listen, stay safe and well to yourself and the family, and it's been great to catch up. And listen, as soon as it's safe to do so, you'll be back, no doubt, in action, and I look forward to seeing you along the highways and byways on stage one of the nights.
Jerry, thank you very much for the time, and best wishes to all of your listeners and you as well, and keep safe. And you never know, you might hear of Peggy on the airwaves very soon. Whenever I eventually get that single sent over to you, you might be able to give it a wee spin. But thanks for the interview, and take care.